Hi everyone! Today we are going to talk about bicycle and pedestrian safety. Pedestrian is just another word for someone who walks. Biking and walking are great ways to move your body and get some exercise, but it's important that we do them safely. So let's talk first about how to be a safe biker. I'm sure many of you have bikes at home that you ride either at the park, to school, or around your neighborhood. But there's one thing you need to put on before you start riding. Can anyone guess what that is? That's right. We need to put on a bike helmet. But why? How do helmets keep us safe? Well, you all have something very special inside your heads, and that's your brain. Your helmet helps to keep your brain safe if you fall off your bike. You only have one brain, and it has a very important job. It helps you do, well, practically everything. It tells your heart to beat, your lungs to breathe, your eyes to see, your ears to hear, your legs and arms to move. It helps you learn and remember things. It helps your mouth to speak, and much, much more. If we hurt a part of our brain, we may end up having trouble doing one of these things. Imagine not being able to move your arms or legs, or not being able to say what you think. That's why we need to keep our brains safe. So are there other times when we should wear a helmet? Sure are. If you like to rollerblade or roller skate, or if you ride a scooter or skateboard, you should always wear a helmet too. You never know when you might fall. But helmets can only do their job if you wear them the right way. Let's look at this picture. Can you see anything wrong with the way he is wearing his helmet? Well, I see at least two things. First, he is wearing his helmet too far back. The helmet should be nice and low on the front of your head. If he were to fall off his bike, he would probably hit his forehead on the ground. The second thing that is wrong are his straps. They look too loose. If the straps are too loose, the helmet will fall off your head. Now this is the right way to wear a helmet. Do you see the difference? I'm going to teach you the quick fit check. We check 3 things to make sure your helmet is on the right way. The first thing we check is our eyes. The helmet should sit low on your head, no more than 2 finger widths above your eyebrows. The next thing we check is our ears. Your strap should form the letter V around your ears. Can you make the letter V with your 2 fingers? And the last thing we check is our chin. Once you buckle your chin strap, you should only be able to fit 1 finger between your strap and your chin. Let's watch a quick video on how to do this. One more thing about helmets. They are only good for 1 crash. So if you fall off your bike, make sure you tell an adult. They are there to help you in case you are hurt. Your helmet or bike could also be broken. So be sure to tell someone so they can check you, your helmet, and your bike. To be a safe biker, we must also follow the rules of the road. A bike is just like a car, so we must follow all the same rules as a car does. This keeps everyone on the road safe. Many of you may not be riding on the road yet, and that's okay. If you do ride on the sidewalk, be careful of the other people who might be walking there. Be sure to let them know you are behind them. You can ring your bell or honk your horn if your bike has one, or just call out to them. If you are riding on the road, you should ride on the right side of the road, as far to the right as you can, and be going in the same direction as the cars. Just like cars, bikers must follow the same traffic signs and signals. So you should be stopping at stop signs and following traffic lights. If you are making a turn or stopping, it's important to let others know. Since bicycles do not have turn signals or brake lights, you'll need to use your hands. Take a look at the picture. If you are turning left, point left. If you are turning right, bring your arm up. If you are stopping, bring your arm down. This way drivers and other people on the road know what you're going to do. Remember to watch out for cars that are backing out of driveways or parking spots. The drivers may not see you. And try not to ride too close to parked cars. You never know when a car door might open. And lastly, being a safe biker means keeping your bike in tip-top shape. Just follow your ABCs. A is for air. Make sure your tires are fully pumped up. B is for brakes. Make sure your brakes are working. And C is for chain. Make sure your chain is not dirty, rusty, broken, or too loose. Okay, now let's talk about pedestrian safety. Let's watch this video on how to be a safe walker.
Wait, what's this about?
It's about walking safely.
Walking safely?
Uh-huh.
We already know how to do that. Pretty easy.
Okay, so if you three were anywhere, you could walk safely?
Sure.
What about here?
Hey!
Or here?
Whoa!
Or here?
That's not fair.
I know. I was just kidding. We're not talking about that. We're talking about walking down the street and being safe. And there are certain things you need to know and do.
Like what?
Like walk, don't run to start with. And when you're walking near cars, don't start messing around and pushing other kids.
'Cause we might accidentally push them in front of a car?
Yes, and you might end up in the street too, and walk with an adult, a parent maybe, or if you have one, an older brother or sister.
I do that with my sister. She's in high school.
Good.
I don't need to, 'cause I'm 9.
Actually, you do. You should walk with an adult until you're 10.
But if I have an adult, why do I need to learn these rules? Won't they know?
They should, but you still need to know them. You won't always be 9, and when you're old enough to walk by yourself, you need to know how to walk safely. So, you walk on the sidewalk. But what if there isn't a sidewalk?
Then walk in the street?
Well, not exactly. Walk on the side of the street, and when you do that, always walk on the left side, facing traffic.
But then cars are coming right at you.
That's true, but then you can see them from a long way off. And if you need to, you can step to the side and get out of their way. If you walk on the right side, the cars come up behind you and you won't see them, and they may not be able to see you either. You could get hurt that way.
Oh.
If you can do it, it's better to walk on roads that aren't so busy, when there aren't so many cars going by. But no matter how many cars there are, you want to be sure you're not distracted while you're walking.
Huh?
Do you know what a distraction is?
What?
A distraction.
What's that?
Something that takes your attention away, like that game in your hand.
Ow!
If you're distracted when you're walking, you might not see something like a car backing out of a driveway, and they may not see you either, because drivers get distracted too, so they might not stop.
You mean I might get hit?
Yes. That's why you need to be paying attention. Stop when you come to a driveway or an alleyway and make sure a car isn't backing out or pulling in from the street. When you're sure no one's coming, then you can cross. Do the same thing if you're walking in a parking lot. Watch out for cars that are backing out or pulling into parking spaces. It's also a good idea to wear bright colors when you're out for a walk, even if you're just walking to school or the bus stop.
Why?
Because bright colors or shiny, reflective clothes make it easier for drivers to see you. If they don't see you, they won't know you're there and you might get hurt. Now let's talk about crossing the street.
My turn.
Okay, let's say you're in your neighborhood in the middle of the block and you need to cross the street. What's the first thing you do?
Have my sister with me?
Yes, cross with an adult or someone older like your sister.
Okay.
The next thing is find the best place to cross. Your sister can help you do that.
But what's a good place?
It's some place where you can see cars coming and the drivers can see you. So stay away from things that might make you hard to see. You know, things like parked cars or big bushes or trash cans. Find a place where you can see the street really well in all directions.
Then what?
Then, stop at the edge of the street, look and listen for cars. Look both ways more than once. If there is something in your way, like a trash can, you'll need to stop and look again. When your sister is sure no cars are coming, she'll let you know. Together, you'll walk quickly straight across the street. Keep your head up and look both ways to make sure no one's coming until you get across, and hold the hand of the adult you're with. Do you know what an intersection is?
Where one street crosses another street?
Yeah, and crossing at a crosswalk or an intersection is a lot like what we just learned.
Except there's cars coming from different directions and a stoplight.
Sometimes. Not every intersection has a stoplight, but some of the ones that do will tell you when to walk and when not to walk. Walk looks like this. Don't walk looks like this. And remember, the light says walk, it doesn't say run. But whether it's a stoplight or a stop sign or just a crosswalk, you need to look in front and behind and left and right to make sure no cars are coming before you cross. Together, you'll walk straight across to the other side. So, how about it? Think you can walk safely now?
Yeah, if there aren't any tigers.
Good. Now, what would you say are the two most important things you learned today, besides stay away from tigers?
Stay alert.
And watch for cars?
Yes, stay alert and watch for cars. Very good.
Are we done?
We're done. Walk safely.
So let's talk about some of the important things we learned about being a safe walker. Walk on the sidewalk. This is the safest place for you to be. If there are no sidewalks, then you should walk on the left side of the road facing the cars. Remember, this is the opposite from a biker. We want to be able to see the cars and get out of their way if we need to. Always cross at crosswalks. Crosswalks have special lines on the road and traffic lights that help people cross the road safely. If you cross in the middle of the road, the driver might not see you and stop. So even though it might not be the fastest way across the street, it's the safest. Always look both ways before crossing, and walk, don't run. If you run across the road, you're more likely to trip and fall, and it will be harder for that car to see you. If the intersection you are crossing at has signals, use them. Remember though, you have to make them work by pushing the button on the signal. When you push the button, you're letting the signal know that you're there and that you'd like to cross. If you don't push the button, you may be waiting a long time before the light changes. And lastly, walking and biking at nighttime. It is much harder to see walkers and bikers at night. If you're on a bike, use lights on your bike so drivers can see you better. Have a white light in the front and a red light in the back. If you're walking, carry a flashlight. Be sure to wear bright colors that stand out in the dark, such as white, yellow, orange, and anything fluorescent. And also add reflectors to your bike, helmet, and clothing. This will also help drivers see that you're there. Well, I think that does it. Thank you for being such a great audience. Be safe out there.